Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. I am your host, Hound Dog Buck 50. On this one, I wanted to talk about good men that are alone that can't find wives or serious companions, for that matter. In the dating game, it's difficult in most cases to find that one you really want to be with for most. But it's even more difficult when you sort of want to play the game by your rules, so to speak. And I'll explain. Young men, and I think most will agree, at an early age, we learn about girls and how they respond to certain behavior, positively or negatively. And once we see that at an early age, most men, we adjust and we understand. The mind subconsciously processes like, okay, you respond this way. If a man kisses your ass, this is how you respond. When you respond like this is how you respond, and so on and so forth. The man who the young boy who sort of adapts and says, okay, I get it, will always be more successful. The man that will suffer is the one that constantly questions why it has to be that way. When you are constantly questioning why is it that way, well, why do women respond more when you ignore them, or why can't you just be nice to them? They're going to struggle because they want to do things their way. Regardless of what the women say, they're going to do things their way. And it's going to make things, like I said, that much harder for you. In the world we live in, it's not just the dating game, because the work game is more than just, saying something to a woman to make her feel good or possibly get intimate. Game is just understanding how to work your way through life and how to adapt in different situations, how to respond to people in a certain way that will accommodate them. All of that is game. Even for people that are in the regular workspace, corporate America, there's a certain level of game that you have to possess if you want to survive in that world. Once you're in that world, after a while, you understand that there's certain things you don't care for, like when they tell you to go on lunch break, the fact that they may only give you 2 15-minute breaks, and they have meetings that you may not necessarily like. All these things are part of the game. So when when your boss is having that meeting and they're all doing the cheer and all that, and in your mind you're like, this is some corny BS. You just go along with it, because if you let your feelings truly show that this is some BS, then it's like you're fighting against the machine, because that's the machine. When you want to do it your way, remember, you're just one person, but what you're fighting against is an entire corporation. Think about that as a man and relate that to what I'm saying about women. When you want to do things your way, you're one person. Look how many women there are, not just here, Africa, Brazil, you can go on and on. So think of it that way. And I'm gonna go deeper. There's a feeling or vibe that's put out there that there's a lot of single men, good men in terms, and they're not bad looking, they're not out of shape, they're doing well, can't find a wife or whatever, would love to have a wife. But here's the thing, I think the issue is, it's not just them being good men, because I think sometimes when you put that out there, it leaves you with the impression like, okay, you got to be this super jerk to get a woman, which is not true. But what I think is, a lot of good men out there are unrealistic about how the dating game works, and nothing's worse than a good man that's unrealistic. And what I mean by that is, it goes back to what I was saying. No matter how good of a man you are, there has to be a certain reality that you accept in order for you to flourish in the dating game and eventually be with the one you want to be with. They call it dating game for a reason. I'm going to use sports as an analogy. In football, a team has a plan, and they may say, okay, in this particular week, we're going to try to target this receiver 15 times. Now, out of all those catches that receiver makes, not all of them are going to be 30-yard, 40-yard catches. Some of them, they might tackle him as soon as he catch it for 2 yards. But the bigger picture is, by making an effort to get him all those targets, it's making him engage into the game. And with each one that he catches, he's like, yo, he jumping up, he ready. Get me another pass, I'm ready. Put me in the game, coach. And now the defense is on alert because they're thinking, okay, we got to watch 81 over there because he's definitely part of the game plan. And the dating game is very similar. You can women are different than us. They're not just looking at, like, you can be the best looking dude in the world, but if females don't see certain things going on, like other females talking with you or flirting with you or with you, all those looks suddenly doesn't matter anymore. And it's just part of how it works. It's a reason why a lot of times, women that are married now, the man that they with was married to somebody else at the time when they was talking to him or dating somebody else. It's for a reason. So what I'm saying is, if you're a good man, you still have to be able to accept the reality of this is there's going to be some women out there that you're not going to be with. Everyone is not going to be the potential Mrs. Jones, Jackson, or whoever. Some of them are just going to be jump offs. They're going to be chicks that you smash, have a good time or whatever. It might be a little one night stand. She might top you off. It is what it is. Now, if you're a person or a man of a certain religious, aspect and you don't want to have sex or can't have sex until you're married, respect to you. But you can still take that woman out, because here's the thing. A lot of times, the good man is unrealistic. He struggles because he's cutting out all of the fat and he just wants to get right to it. But, you gotta build yourself up to that point. It's like, a lot of good guys, good men, they want the headliner. They don't want to deal with the opening acts. But what they gotta realize is the opening acts is all part of the show. This is all part of it. You can't have a concert, a complete show, without the opening acts. So this is what you gotta learn: is when you're dealing with these women, it's benefiting you socially because other women are seeing you out with other women, and it strengthens your chances of potentially getting the woman that you want. That's just how it works. Like attracts like. When you have something, you get more of it. Now, and to show you how powerful it is, you live in a place like, say, Georgia. Okay, let's say even if you don't got a woman, but you're dealing with a woman regularly, when you go out, you're gonna get more women. Even if you're not with that woman, it's gonna be easier for you to get women. And some of them women don't even know you, never seen you before, so you can't say it's because they saw you with that woman. But you know what it is? Women can just smell it on you when you're dealing with another woman. For real. They can sense it. And it makes the relationship transition from one to the next a little bit easier. Some men say, oh, well, you know what? I don't want to deal with the drama and all that. But you know what? Truthfully, Not every woman that you're intimate with is necessarily going to be a drama queen. So you just have to make an executive decision. I'm not telling you to mess with somebody that's super ratchet that's going to ruin your life. But there are a lot of women out there that's not necessarily trying to get married, and they wouldn't mind just having a casual relationship. They're out there. It's just got to communicate to them. But the expectations have to be realistic. Because I think I'm a good guy, but I'm realistic about the dating game, and I understand that when I walk in a room, every woman in that room is not a potential wife, and that's not no disrespect, because I'm sure I'm not a potential husband to every woman in the room. Some women just want to deal with you for the time being, but even when dealing with those women, it's a lead up to finally getting to where you got to go. Because in most cases, when you do get to that woman, she's probably going to tell you stories about, oh, I saw you with such and such, or was that your girlfriend? And that's when you realize, and at that point, that's when you realize, okay, I get it. I see what he's talking about. Every man has been through that. Women are always watching, even when you don't know they're watching. Go to your job. Bring a lady friend there. Women are watching you. They'll act like they're not watching, but all eyes are on you, trust me. And if they find you the least, any bit interesting, their interest is going to go up by 10, because that's how they are. They don't just judge your value in the money you got or whatever, or the body you got. They're looking at you by how many women want you. And I'm not telling you got to be a super player, but I'm saying in the social realm, there's an unwritten handbook. If you adapt to the handbook, just like you adapt to the handbook at your job, you'll be able to make it in that world. But if you want to create your own handbook, my boy, you're making it harder for yourself. You're going to make this situation way more difficult. So this is what you got to understand. You can be a good man and you can get moolah women, but you got to be realistic in understanding how the social realm works. You can't just push all women to the side just because that's not going to be the one you're going to be with. Because ultimately, the woman that you was going to be with is probably, more attracted to you because of what she saw leading up to that. So keep that in mind. You're always under a watchful eye. And if you adapt to social society, the unwritten rules, you will benefit from it. So keep an open mind with the dating game, and remember that it takes women to attract other women. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, peace, love, and whatever else you think of love.